Hey, this is Orly, and we have Dottie here. Hey, Dottie.
Hey, Orly.
And we are back with another Seeds of Success show. And this week, our title is Let's Brag. And this one, so I wrote, I'm not trying to take credit for everything, but I wrote a lot of these shows. But Dottie, this was one Dottie brought up, and it's a very good, it's going to be a very good show today. I will say I have a little less experience in this area, so I am going to be kind of a student today of Dottie because Dottie has plenty of background in this, and she just has a lot of experience in the industry. So, Dottie, you want to tell us a little bit about what Let's Brag's going to be about today?
Yes, absolutely, Orly. And this is something that I'm really passionate about. And I'll tell you, with the leagues, summer leagues are underway right now, or most likely are underway right now, and we're all preparing for the fall leagues going on the floor. And that's always a big time in a bowling center, right? And one of the topics, one of the touchy subjects is always what's the lineage going to be, and we all know how that goes, right? But one of the things that I like to remind people of is this is a great opportunity for you to share with your league bowlers or potential league bowlers what you've done for them, right?
Okay.
So all the improvements that you've made, a lot of them are going to be in your face. If you've done, painted, then that's obvious. It's in your face, and that really doesn't affect, the bowler that much. But when you start talking about other things that you've done, it's really important for you to bring those to their attention. So, for example, if you have gotten a new scoring system and suddenly the bowler has a different way that they can see their scoring so that it's larger so that they don't have to squint, right?
Okay.
Um, that's important, right? It's
Yeah.
interesting to them to know that you've gotten something that's going to better their experience.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm sure not to cut you off there, but I'm sure there's some centers that, because I mean, obviously there's brand new centers popping up everywhere, and there's some very older centers that probably run leagues, and I'm sure something new, it's going to be a big change for some of the league bowlers, but they're probably going to be pretty excited, such as new scoring or something like you were just mentioning.
yeah, and there's a lot of other things that go on in a bowling center that we know all too well that bowlers never really see. And one of the big things is your lane machine, right?
Yeah.
Um, it does its deal and it goes behind the curtain wall, and the bowlers never see it. Or maybe they come in and they get to see the last 15 or 20 minutes of the lanes being oiled. But that's a big part of your center. It's an integral part of the experience that a customer has when they come into your bowling center, especially a competitive bowler.
Yeah, I
That
mean, because like you said, they don't see that. But if it wasn't for that machine, obviously their ball's not going to be rolling down the lane as smooth as it is without a nice oil machine.
Right. And if the shot's not being put out, consistently or whatever, they're going to notice it. But with a new machine coming on board, first of all, we know that's a large investment for you, and you should be proud of it. You should brag about it.
Yeah.
And Orly, I have to tell you, and I'm sure some of those that are listening today that know me have probably heard this story before because, I'm all about let's have a good time, right?
Yeah.
And so when I was in the center, my head mechanic came to me and he wanted, he needed a new lane machine, right? So we talk about it, and so finally I give in. Okay, yeah, we're gonna get a new one, right? But in the conversation, I'm like, okay, but listen, this is a big investment for me, and I have no problem buying it because this is what our bowlers deserve, right?
Yeah.
But this is important, and it's fragile, and it's special. Treat it like a baby. Be careful with it, maintain it, do what you need to keep it in the best working condition possible.
Did you
And so
do a
I
gender reveal? Did you do one of those when you first
Well,
announced this
guess
new machine?
what? You know me, and my wheels were turning. And he was like, okay, yeah, I understand. And he said, you know me, I'm good about taking care of my stuff, which he was. He was outstanding at taking care of our stuff. And I really didn't even need to tell him. But that had my wheels turning, and I decided we were going to do birth announcements, and we were going to give away candy cigars announcing the arrival of our newest baby. But you know what, Orly? That had such an impact on our bowlers. They, number one, they thought it was so cute, right? But we got an audience now to be able to tell them about our new machine that we bought for them, not for me, but for them. And it had such an impact. And the league bowlers started that season with just such a great mindset that we had put money back in. We got them this new lane machine that was top notch, that had great technology, and we cared about them. That was the message that came across, was that we cared about them.
Yeah, and they probably
So,
shared that message. So that's a good, that's a good look. They probably went out there and were like, oh, somebody asked them, so where do you bowl your leagues at? Oh, I bowl here. They actually just bought us a new lane machine. They have this new scoring. And I mean, something even, even let's say you guys got a new kiosk or web reservation. I'm sure they take pride in all that kind of stuff that you're getting new for the center.
yes, yes, and that's a really good point. With a lot of centers now are starting to incorporate kiosk technology into their business operations, right? Well, that is a great feature. That's a great service that you shouldn't just put it in and assume that the customer is going to realize, hey, they did this so that my experience would be smoother and I could order food and beverage, more conveniently and all that kind of stuff. You need to go into your organizational meetings for your league bowlers and let them know, hey guys, I'm trying to save you a few steps here. We bought this kiosk, we've got it all up and running, and now you can simply find the nearest kiosk, place your food and beverage order, and we'll bring it right to you. That's a big deal,
Yeah,
especially
they probably don't understand at first, but when you put it to them that way, like, they might say like, well, what do you mean you got this kiosk for me? How's this going to help me? Well, you could order your food, get it quicker. You could, you don't have to wait in that line over there while you're bowling, or you're not taking a turn, and they're going to be like, okay, yeah, maybe they did get this for me. And if it's going to make their experience better, I'm pretty sure they're going to be a happier bowler.
Yeah, for sure. Because we all know that, when you're up to bowl and your teammates are looking around and you're up at the snack bar waiting in line to place your order, they get a little irritable.
Yeah.
So, this all is part of the plan, but you need to communicate that to your bowlers. And for something like this, you need to just communicate it generally to your customers, period. But most especially, don't forget about when those league bowlers are having their organizational meeting to go over all the rules and regulations and all that kind of stuff. you know there's opportunity there for the center to talk about the things that they have done for the league bowlers. And even simple things like, if you resurfaced your parking lot and you got rid of all those potholes that are in there, well, that's maybe they drive over it and realize, hey, I didn't drop a tire in that pothole this time. But it's nice for you to showcase what you have done and what new features you have. And if you're now able to take an online reservation where if they want to come out and have fun with their families, uh, let them know that they're certainly not mind readers. And this is stuff that you need to be bragging about. You're buying things to enhance their experience, and so
Yeah, and it might bring them in even obviously off like non-league days. They might say like, oh wow, they just updated their party room. They hear someone that's having a party, or they have a child or grandkid that has having a party. Hey, the bowling center I do my leagues at, they just actually updated their party room. We should do the party there. So it goes beyond just the leagues, I think.
Right. And, speaking of, like your party rooms and updating your party rooms and stuff like that, sometimes now, of course, we usually league meetings are often held in a party room or a meeting room, but it's okay too to remind them that those are available for them to use for other purposes as well. So if you rent out your spaces for, other uses, corporate events and so on and so forth, make sure that, first of all, league bowlers tend to feel ownership. They feel they have pride in the center that they bowl in.
Okay.
This is something that I've experienced for many years. We used to tease and say we have many owners, because all of our league bowlers took that same pride that owners took. They're proud of the house that they bowl in, and they're proud to share that. So when you share with these people that already are loyal to you and take pride in what you have, they too become proud of that, and they
Yeah.
too share that message with their friends. When their friends are looking for some place to go to have a social night out, they're going to say, you know what, let's go to my center. right? And they
Yeah.
do refer to
Yeah.
it as my center. So let them have that pride. Give them bragging rights. Share with them what you have that you've done for their bowling experience, and you'll be surprised. And then when you try to go up 25 cents a game on your lineage, you're not going to hear as much rumbling and grumbling.
Exactly.
Guaranteed.
No, that's a good I mean I definitely learned a lot from this. You know, because we where I'm at, we don't currently have any leagues, but we're working on it. So yeah, there is entertainment centers that, you know, they might be more of a family entertainment center, but you know, that option might be coming around to start some leagues. So I know this is going to be a great show for people to learn from. And I thank you for all your knowledge today, Dottie. And every
Well,
day.
you are very welcome. I hope it's very obvious that I love this industry. I love being in this industry, and
Yes.
I love sharing things about this industry that can help the people that are listening or watching us to be as successful as they can possibly be. That's what it's all about for me, is to be able to share my experience, and they get to reap the benefit of it. So listeners, as you are preparing for your leagues going on the floor and your organizational meetings, take 5 or 10 minutes and think about what you've done for your bowlers, and get your list of bragging rights. You've earned those rights. So go out, and if you've got it, folks, flaunt it. Share that news. Orly, it's been a great show. Thanks for letting me share what knowledge I have in this subject. And I can't wait till we get together to do another Seeds of Success.
Yep. As always, it's always fun.
Listeners, tune in next week as Dottie and Orly talk a little bit more about things to prepare for your upcoming league season. Thanks, guys. See you next time.